Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we are taking a really deep dive into the start of something huge, the foundational chapters of Victor Hugo's Les Misérables. Now, look, we know it's massive, a real brick of a book. But this dive, it's specifically for you, our listener. We want you to quickly get the essentials, the key plot points. Who's who, right from the start. Based on the excerpts we've got, think of it like, well, your shortcut to being genuinely clued in on this epic story. We're pulling out the most important bits, the surprising details that make it all click without you feeling totally buried by the sheer size of it. We're aiming right for the core, how these first events really set everything else in motion.
Exactly. And that's what's so brilliant about Hugo, isn't it? Right from page 1, he sets up these incredibly deep themes. And the characters, their lives start tangling together almost immediately in ways that are just crucial. So this dive, it's not just about what happens, but really why these first encounters matter so much for everything that comes after, the redemption, the justice, all of it.
That's a great way to put it. Really highlights Hugo's craft. Okay, so let's start with someone who's almost, well, impossibly good. M. Muriel, the Bishop of Dia. His life is incredibly simple, austere even. He just lives with his sister, Mademoiselle Baptistine, described as having the beauty of goodness, which is lovely, and their servant, Madame Magloire.
A very small, gentle household.
And what jumps out at you beyond the simple living is his total selflessness. His commitment to the poor is just unwavering. Take his budget, it's about 3,000 livres. Now that sounds like maybe a decent amount, but for a bishop, not really lavish. And pretty much all of it, straight to charity.
It's all itemized.
Yeah. Meat soup for the hospital patients, support for maternity societies, helping foundlings, orphans. He even charges fees to the rich just so he can give that money to the poor. It completely flips the script on what you'd expect.
It really does. And it makes you ask right away, what kind of moral standard is being set here? It's not just being nice, it's radical compassion.
Yeah.
It's like Hugo saying true justice, maybe true redemption. It comes from this kind of grace, something totally outside the normal rules of society and law. It's a huge idea to start with.
And he's fearless too, isn't he? Almost legendarily so. I love that detail about him walking alone in the mountains to visit shepherds. No fear for himself. He actually says, I'm not here to guard my own life, but to guard souls.
Yeah, that says it all.
And then there's that story about these stolen church treasures, the cope, the mitre with diamonds, the cross, the cruse.
Remember Notre Dame Dumbboro? Yeah. Stolen by this bandit, Cravat.
And they just arrive at his door with a note. From Cravat to Monseigneur Bienvenu. And the bishop, he just accepts them, sees it as like God providing for his church service.
It's incredible. It suggests this kind of purity that almost compels even criminals to act differently around him. And, thinking about that compassion, his encounters really set the stage, even talking with that dying conventionary, the revolutionary.
Right, who voted to execute the king.
Exactly. Their conversation delves deep into justice, duty, redemption. Hugo's showing us straight off that this world isn't simple. It's complex, full of gray areas.
And speaking of complex, that brings us right to Jean Valjean. When we meet him, he's fresh out of the galleys. 19 years he spent there.
19 years. 5 for breaking and entering.
And 14 for trying to escape. Over and over.
Yeah, and he's got that yellow passport.
Oh, that passport. It's brutal. It literally says, it's designed to expel me from every place where I go. Can you imagine? You've done your time, but society just keeps punishing you, rejecting you everywhere.
It's a life sentence outside of prison.
And the reason he was locked up in the first place, it's just devastating. He wasn't some evil mastermind. He was a tree pruner just trying to feed his sister's 7 kids.
Stole a loaf of bread.
Stole one loaf of bread. And they figured out about the kids because of this gesture he made when they chained him up, like touching 7 little heads. It's just, wow, a critique of the whole system, right? How it can just crush someone.
Absolutely. How poverty and desperation lead to crime, and the system just makes it worse.
So Valjean, totally broken, ends up at the bishop's house. He needs food, shelter, and he doesn't hide anything. He tells him straight up, I am a galley slave, a convict.
He basically dares the bishop to turn him away like everyone else has.
And the bishop doesn't.
No. It's this incredible moment of contrast, isn't it? The symbol of grace welcoming the ultimate outcast. He doesn't just give him food and a bed. He calls him monsieur, treats him with dignity, something Valjean probably hasn't known for 2 decades.
It's huge. But then Valjean reverts. Years of hardship, bitterness. He steals the bishop's silverware while he sleeps.
Old habits die hard, especially habits formed under such brutal conditions.
He gets caught, obviously. The gendarmes drag him back, and this is the moment, right? The absolute turning point.
It really is.
The bishop's response is just mind-blowing. He tells the police, completely calmly, oh, but I gave him the silver.
And then he adds the candlesticks, which Valjean hadn't even taken.
Yeah, you forgot the candlesticks, he says, and then turns to Valjean and delivers that line. I have bought your soul for God. Chills, just completely bypasses the law, the expected punishment, everything.
It's pure, unadulterated mercy, and it shatters Valjean. Hugo describes him weeping these burning tears like he's breaking down completely.
Seeing his whole life his first fault, but in this totally new light.
Exactly, an extraordinary light. He realizes right then he has to change. He has to become honest and good once more, find a way to shut the door on his past. It's a genuine rebirth.
And that moment, that act of grace, it fuels everything he does later, like choosing to reveal himself to save that innocent man.
Precisely. It poses that question. Can one act of kindness truly redeem a soul, even when society offers no path back?
Wow. Okay, so from Valjean's first painful steps toward a new life, Hugo shifts focus. We meet Fantine and her story. It's just heartbreaking. It unfolds against that same unforgiving social backdrop. We're in the Restoration period now, right? Around 1814 to 1820.
Yeah, a really turbulent time. The old monarchy's back, legitimacy asserting itself, as Hugo puts it. Lots of tension between the old guard, the old owls of marquises looking down on Napoleon, and the newer elements of society.
A society trying to kind of patch itself back together after a revolution and empire.
And amidst all this, you get figures like the gamin, the street kid.
Yes, the Parisian street Arab.
Hugo sees them as products of poverty, definitely, but also full of this inexhaustible initiative. They're tough, resilient. They see executions as like entertainment.
Grim resilience.
But Hugo finds something more there. It's not just grim. He suggests these kids, ignored by society, have this raw vitality, this sharp way of seeing things that the upper classes miss entirely. Their initiative isn't just survival. It's almost a kind of commentary on the world around them.
That's a fascinating layer. And Fantine, she emerges from this world, described as blossoming from the dregs of the people.
Beautiful, but with no real background. Gold and pearls for her dowry, meaning her teeth and hair. Very vulnerable.
And she falls in love, her first love, soul love, with this student, Tholomyès.
Who basically uses her and then just leaves. Abandons her after she has their child, Cosette. His parting words are just a casual, embrace me, Fantine,
Yeah.
before he disappears.
Awful, and he never answers her letters. She's completely alone, an unwed mother in a society that offers zero support.
Which leads to that desperate decision.
To give Cosette away to the Thénardiers, these innkeepers in Montfermeil, she thinks she's giving Cosette a better chance.
And that detail where she sells everything she owns.
Yeah, all her nice things, her silks, ribbons, laces, she puts them all on Cosette before sending her off. It's like the last piece of her own identity, her own hope she's pinning on her daughter.
Yeah.
Gut-wrenching.
It really lays bare the impossible choices women faced. One mistake, one instance of being abandoned, and your life just spirals downwards. No safety net at all.
And the Thénardiers. They seem okay at first glance, attentive and penetrating, but they turn out to be monstrously cruel.
Totally exploitative.
Cosette's life with them is just misery, dressed in rags, barely fed, a little better than the dog, a little worse than the cat, treated like a servant, eating scraps. It's horrific.
A truly bleak picture of childhood abuse.
Okay, so let's circle back to Jean Valjean. What's happened to him after the bishop?
Well, he's completely transformed himself. He's now M. Madeleine, a successful factory owner in the town of M-sur-M, highly respected.
Right. He even invents a less costly way to make jet trinkets, brings prosperity to the whole region.
Yeah.
Becomes mayor, even.
Yeah. Though he refuses the Legion of Honor medal, interestingly.
Yeah.
Can't accept an honor based on a false identity. His workers call him Father Madeleine. But there's always this underlying sadness, this awareness of the lie.
And that lie is constantly under threat, isn't it? Particularly from Inspector Javert. Oh, Javert. He's convinced Madeleine is actually this convict, Valjean, that he remembers from the galleys in Toulon. He just knows it.
His policeman's intuition, coupled with his rigid worldview.
And then Madeleine does something extraordinary. He saves Father Fauchelevent, this old man trapped under a heavy cart, lifts the cart himself.
An act of incredible strength, which impresses everyone.
Except Javert. For Javert, it's just more proof. He knew Valjean had that kind of strength. It just cements his suspicion.
The dramatic irony is palpable.
And then Madeleine steps in again, intervening, when Javert arrests Fantine. He insists she's innocent, promises to help her. As mayor, he overrules Javert.
which just infuriates Javert even more. He sees it as Madeleine being soft, misguided, maybe even corrupt.
And this sets up the ultimate moral crisis for Valjean Madeleine, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This is the crucible. He's built this good life, this new soul. But then he finds out someone else, an innocent man, has been mistaken for him and is about to be condemned as Jean Valjean.
So he has to choose. Keep his new life, his safety, his good name, or let an innocent man go back to the galleys in his place.
It's an impossible choice. Preserve his personal redemption, built on a lie, or return to infamy to uphold a higher justice. It forces him to decide what that new soul really means. Is it just about his own peace, or does it demand sacrifice for others?
And the internal struggle Hugo describes is intense. This extraordinary change comes over him. He feels disgust at the thought of hiding, realizes his promise to the bishop. His real goal was to be truly honest and good, whatever it cost.
So he goes to Arras, to the court.
And reveals himself. Destroys his life as Madeleine to save the innocent Champmathieu.
A profound act of self-sacrifice.
And this happens right around the time Fantine is dying. He gets back just in time to be with her.
Yeah, there's that incredibly moving scene where he cares for her, closes her eyes, kisses her hand as she passes. Hugo suggests her death is a release,
Right.
an entrance into the great light.
So after revealing himself, Valjean is a hunted man again. He has to escape with Cosette, Fantine's daughter, whom he promised to protect. Javert is right on his tail.
And they end up finding refuge in the most unlikely place. The Petit Picpus convent in Paris.
Right, a place where men are absolutely forbidden.
Exactly. An impossible place, as Hugo calls it. Yet it's sanctuary. The convent itself is described in this really interesting contradictory way, both a physis for civilization, like it drains life away, but also possessing majesty.
It reflects the complex world, maybe, that safety can be found in isolation, even if that isolation has its own costs.
Precisely. It's a space outside the normal world, offering protection but also confinement.
And getting out of there temporarily, or rather faking a burial. That's where Father Fauchelevent comes back in, the gardener Valjean saved earlier.
The coffin escape. It's brilliantly plotted. Valjean hides in the coffin of a nun who just died.
And Fauchelevent has to make sure the gravedigger, Master Gerbier, doesn't actually bury him alive.
Which he does with that clever trick involving wine and the identity card. Don't lose the card. It's incredibly tense, but also has this dark humor to it.
Valjean is literally saved from the grave.
Buried and resurrected in a way. And this allows him to find a different kind of life within the convent walls, living secretly in a garden hut with Cosette.
A very sweet life, the text says, even though he's still a prisoner of his past. But he's safe, and he can raise Cosette.
It's a period of quiet growth for both of them, hidden away from the world.
Okay, so the story branches out again. We meet Marius Pontmercy. He's a young man, kind of finding his feet after a major break with his grandfather, M. Gillenormand.
Right. Gillenormand is this old-school royalist, very proud, very eccentric, likes being thought of as a ladies' man even in his 80s.
Yeah, flattered by the calumny of having a bastard child at 84. Hugo has some fun with him.
Definitely. But deep down, he absolutely idolized Marius. Yet his pride.
But his pride makes him kick Marius out when he discovers the boy admires Napoleon and his father, a Bonapartist hero. Political divides running deep, even in families.
Exactly. His head says no, sadly, but his pride shouts yes. A very human contradiction.
And Marius, cast out, experiences poverty. But Hugo presents this not just as suffering, but as transformative.
Right. Misery in youth turns the whole will towards effort and the whole soul towards aspiration. Poverty makes him think, makes him compassionate. He starts looking deeper at humanity, at creation.
It shapes his idealism, his sense of justice.
And it's during this time, living poor but thinking rich thoughts, that he sees her.
Cosette, in the Luxembourg garden, though he just knows her as the girl in the bonnet. And she's with Miss Leblanc.
Who is, of course, Jean Valjean, living under another assumed name after leaving the convent.
Marius is instantly smitten, totally dazzled by those eyes fraught with rays and abysses. Classic young love, very shy, very intense.
He doesn't even dare speak to her for ages.
But then suddenly they stop coming to the garden, vanished. Marius is desperate to find them.
And his search leads him, quite by chance, to this miserable apartment building, the Gorbeau hovel.
Where he ends up living next door to the Jondrette family.
Who are actually?
The Thénardiers. Cosette's cruel former guardians, now fallen on hard times themselves in Paris, living under a false name. The plot threads are tightening.
Incredible coincidence, or maybe fate, in Hugo's world.
The Jondrettes put on this show of absolute poverty, begging Marius for rent money. He sees their daughter, Eponine, looking starved.
And Marius, remembering his own recent struggles.
He's moved. He gives them the little money he has, 60 francs, and promises to get more. An act of kindness born from his own experience.
But he has no idea who these people really are or how this act connects him directly to Cosette's past and to Jean Valjean's future.
So what does it all mean at this stage? These threads, they're starting to weave together, aren't they? Almost invisibly.
Absolutely. Marius's charity towards the Jondrettes links him straight to the Thénardiers, and through them connects his path to Cosette's and Valjean's. It sets up all the major confrontations and relationships to come. Hugo is showing how interconnected lives are, how one act ripples outwards.
Wow. So from the bishop's incredible act of mercy that literally saves a soul, to Fantine's heartbreaking sacrifices, Valjean's ingenious escapes driven by his promise.
And Marius's idealistic awakening fueled by love and poverty.
We've really traced the crucial opening moves of Les Misérables. It starts with these huge swings between cruelty and kindness, setting this moral landscape that just challenges everything.
It really does. And these early parts drive home Hugo's idea that ignorance, darkness is the real danger. And what's needed is light in floods, compassion, understanding, education. The story suggests right away that change, both for individuals and society, is this constant struggle, often painful, towards something better, towards goodness.
So thinking about all this, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Who is truly dangerous in this society? Is it the convict trying to be good? Or the system that won't let him?
Or the poverty that crushes people like Fantine?
Exactly. And how do these unexpected acts of kindness, like the bishop's or even Marius's small charity, how do they echo through time? How do they maybe change the course of fate, redefine what justice even means? Something to really mull over. Keep diving deep into the stories that challenge and inspire you.